Welcome to the match review for Huddersfield versus Leicester. Phil, obviously, we've seen the Coventry game. We've seen the Burton game midweek, two completely different lineups, and now we're going to this game after seeing the press conference from Enzo and obviously Owen and all that today. What's your kind of take on this game? Because we've seen quite a few different stories of Connor Cody out, Hermanson out. Do you think it's going to be a big change in the lineup this weekend?
Well, yeah, I mean, Connor Cody, the news, if people who perhaps haven't seen it yet, is out for, I think, another seven-ish weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying he's going to be out for 10 weeks. So we're reading that he's already been out for 2 to 3 weeks. So we think that's another 7 weeks from today onwards. So, I mean, that takes you into, well, the best part of October, doesn't it? So Connor Cody being out, obviously, probably should be a miss for us. But
yeah,
for me, the bigger injury worry is the keeper, Manson, because we've got 5. I was just looking on the lcfc.com website. We've got 5 keepers in the squad. I've never known Leicester have 5 keepers in the squad, really. And
well, I swear
we've got Hermanson. We've got
Smithy's not in the squad.
Smithy's is in the squad.
Well, 5 keepers is a bit of a joke, isn't it?
We've got the Polish lad who I'm never going to be able to say.
I'm not going to pronounce it either.
But I think that to me is the biggest question: is who's going to be in goal? Because Enzo's trying to play, as we know, this attacking football with a keeper who can sweep.
Yeah.
But you've still got to have a decent keeper in there, and we're back to the old debate already about Danny Ward, Everson, Smithers. None of us ever really seen do anything. Or the young Polish lad can't pronounce his name. Go on, say his name.
Jacob, is it?
We're looking. Jacobs, yes, well,
yeah.
Stolastic.
Well, let's just say this,
Yeah.
that Iverson was in the last 10 games of the season last year. Ward was the first 20 games of last season. So do you see any of them coming in, or do you see this Polish keeper coming in? From what we've seen pre-season, he has been there if Hermanson's not been playing.
Well, he played in a couple of the pre-season friendlies, didn't he? The behind closed doors, Levers. And he played against Burton Albion. Did okay there, but had nothing too much to do. I guess part of my question is, if it's not going to be Danny Ward, if it's not going to be Iverson or Smithers, well, yeah, you probably keep. I mean, all 3 need to probably be moved on very, very quickly, don't they? If they're not going to play tomorrow. I mean, Gerd says they're play Everson there. It'd be interesting to see what people are going to say.
It's so difficult because as much as we knew Brendan Rodgers wanted a third choice keeper, we've got 5 now. So who would be out the door if we didn't play all of them? Obviously, we're not going to play all of them. So for me, I'd probably see Iverson out the door because he's too good to just be sitting on the bench. Ward, I don't think he'll get into anyone's team, if I'm totally honest. He's not good enough. And then Smithies, we brought him in as a 3rd choice, which is now probably 5th choice. So it's not going to be the greatest. Unlike with the youngsters coming from the academy, that makes up the 5. So we've just got too many keepers. And
well, you've got too many keepers. You've got 2 or 3 there. You're saying they're not going to play.
No. Someone here says Iverson would be good at Palace. Again, he's too good to be sitting on our bench as a second keeper. He did it all last season nearly, and he finally got his chance.
I think he wants to play football as well, which is why he was on loan at Preston, wasn't he, for 2 seasons now. So I think Iverson would probably have thought if Leicester get relegated, he was going to be the number 1 choice. I think it's going to be interesting. But Smithers, I mean, reportedly on 10 grand a week for a keeper, again, who's never going to play in the Premier League. If he's not going to play in the Championship when we need him, again, might as well go. I'd rather have a young lad sat on the bench, which is really what this Jacob Stolarczyk, I think. Thanks, Scott Chapman, for putting it in there. We can at least say that. Thanks, Scott, for that.
Stolarczyk. There you go.
Stolarczyk.
There we go.
It probably is going to be him tomorrow, really, and I think I've got no problems with that. I just think, well, Danny Ward played for Wales in the Euro Championships. We might as well try and move Danny Ward on and Everson on if they're not going to play tomorrow.
Well, there's no, like I say, there's no point having five goalkeepers in your squad. No. Again, 3 maybe even is too much as well. But like Callum says, Jacob is a good keeper. So hopefully he comes in tomorrow, because I think we do all kind of agree that Hermanson is our main choice when he's fit.
It seems
he
that
did
way.
start against
we bought
Coventry.
him. Obviously, Enzo's
5
bought
years.
him, so he's his player, and he said, "I want a keeper who's going to be able to, make some decent saves, but sweep the ball out." The Jacob Stolar say, I'm going to keep looking at Scott's one there. He did come out and he played the ball with his feet quite a lot on Wednesday against Burton. So again, he looks like he's in that one. Sean, yeah, I have no issue with what Sean says there.
No, I agree. We'll move on then, obviously, to more the Huddersfield game. Obviously, we spoke about it a lot today, saying that I asked you the question, what do you know any Huddersfield players? And you were like,
no,
we don't. So should this be a breeze walk in the park, or is it going to be as tough as what Coventry was?
It's very difficult, isn't it? Because I don't want to be like, oh, we're an ex-Premier League side and we're just down there and we should beat everybody. But again, when you do have a quick look at the Huddersfield team without doing any research, you just look at the names and you go, there's nothing and nobody who stands out in there. And again, very much like the Coventry game last week, when you've got the likes of Patson Daka and Sumare and Castagna not even on our starting 11 and worth of talent on our bench, our starting 11 is full of Premier League quality all the way through. Yes, a couple of young lads who are on the way up there, but you've really got to look at Huddersfield, who struggled last season. Neil Warnock did a great job just to keep them in the league on a shoestring. That, as far as I know, they've not really bought anybody of any value. So I really, really don't like to go into it with this thing, but the squad we've got today, because players are still there, some of these may go, but the squad that we take to Huddersfield tomorrow really is far too good.
Oh yeah, it is
far too good. And Aggie says that expect us to win tomorrow. We should expect.
Like Coventry, compared to Coventry, this should be easier. They lost to, was it Plymouth, who just got promoted into the Championship from League One, and they did beat them like 3 or 4-1, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be a winnable game for us, and you should expect to see us win with the team we've got. And like I say, since Huddersfield have gone down from the Premier League a few years back, they've lost all their best players. And in my opinion, if we don't go up this season, we're going to start to be another Huddersfield where we're just going to lose all the quality.
I mean, and Andy Wright says there, don't underestimate Huddersfield. Absolutely, Andy. I totally agree with you there. They can kick us up the moment if we're not on it. I think we will be on it. I think the way Enzo wants people to play and is expecting people to play, that emphasis is on people putting in 100% of the shift, else they'll get dropped. So I think there is that new school mentality where everybody's out to impress Enzo. And it comes across already to me, really, that players enjoy trying to impress him because they want to impress him. They're not just playing the game around. They do look like they want to get a pat on the back from Enzo. So I think we will go there. But I do hear exactly what Andy's saying. Don't underestimate Huddersfield. I'm not. I'm just looking at their team, Andy, and going, I can't see anybody there we should be particularly frightened of.
No, again, our quality should be there to show. But like any game, I said to you, Phil, that on any day, like Norwich can beat Man City as long as they get the tactics right and they put their effort in.
Luke says there the mentality was in the Burton game. I think it was. I thought it was a really good mentality there. It had a little bit of a feel of pre-season, but that golfing class is, they're Burton are League Two. We turned up there with if the team that we'd put out against Coventry and even Burton, we were playing Brentford tomorrow in the Premier League. I'd fancy us to go to Brentford with that team, Fulham. So I think we'd be competitive. It's frustrating we have dropped down, really, because I feel like we should still be competitive at a Premier League level.
It is, I get that.
So I'm not
I will say to you about the Blackburn game last season, the Gillingham game last season, wasn't it? We only just beat them 1-0.
Yeah, but
these are the games where
that was mentality.
Yeah, and that's where it's completely changed now because Enzo's come in, backroom staff are coming, new players are coming, and hopefully, even though Connor Cody's injured, hopefully he's in that changing rooms each game doing what Schmeichel used to be doing. giving them a bit of a boost every single game. Burton are a League One side, Phil.
Thank you.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Listen, it was a good run out for Leicester. It was good to get the fitness levels going. We
was
had, what was it, 800 passes?
Like you said, it was a pre-season. It's a
comfy.
pre-season game, and that's what we should have been playing before we started playing against the likes of Coventry. Aggie says here, for me, the run with fixtures, in the first game to lose against Southampton. The first game we would lose is Southampton, yeah.
Well, I hope not, Aggie. Let's hope we can keep going. But obviously, we've got Huddersfield tomorrow. Then it's Cardiff. Then it's Rotherham. I think I've got that in the right order.
Yeah, and then I think it's the cup game after that as well.
Yeah, then it's Tranmere on the 29th. So we've been talking about this week, is that if Leicester can go and get 3 points tomorrow, which I really do hope and think we will do, then we take Cardiff on again. And at King Power, I would like to think that we've got every chance of beating Cardiff. And that could be 6 to 9 points out of 9. Obviously, you've got to take it, as they always say, game by game. But what if anybody's watching this? What? I mean, does anybody know of anything we should fear from Huddersfield? Because for me, the biggest fear is Leicester not performing. Leicester perform, we've got too much quality there. We will win.
Well, I will mention one person that might have a bit of quality, and it's on here. His name's Danny Ward. He's not the bad keeper we know of, but he is their main striker up front, number 19. I don't know too much about him, but he was ex-Swansea, if I'm not mistaken. He's only come in the last year or two. So from what I've looked at, he's probably one of their main threats. But like you say, you've probably heard of him. So
well, listen, and again, this is where you've got to be careful, really. But look, who's going to be our 3 centre-backs tomorrow?
That's another question. I was going to say here,
well,
injured Cody. We lost 7 weeks. We put Vestergaard up 7 weeks. God help us.
If it's the same 3 that we've got against, say, Coventry. So let's say it's Vestergaard. So we bought him for £15 million. He's a Danish international. Played Premier League level for many, many seasons.
Was one of the best players,
who plays for Belgium, international level. Lots of European sides. There was rumours, by the way, of Galatasaray being interested in him this morning that I was reading. But there's 2. Then you've got Callum Doyle, Man City starlet, who they don't want to sell. You know, like 3 centre-backs there.
Top level.
You've got Ricardo Pereira sat in front of them. You've got James Justin, played for England. You've got, Harry Winks. Look at that back lineup and that defensive section.
It is way higher level than the
Championship. You talk about Danny Ward, this guy from Huddersfield. We should be snuffing that out, because I don't want to. I know I sound like I'm taking it too lightly, but we should be far too good with the players we've got. We've got the biggest wage bill. They're internationals. If they've got, it's all about mental attitude.
Well, as much as we saw against Coventry, there was a few dodgy moments at the back. I will say that, but majority of the times, Callum Doyle knew what he was doing. Faze, for me, was one of the better players. He knew what he was doing. He didn't let anything really get shut down. And then obviously Vestergaard, for me, he knows how to do it with the ball. He knows how to pass on the ball. So it's a good thing. But Foxes does say here that Maresca is looking to buy a new centre back. Well, I'm guessing that's now down to Cody being injured. So
David Fallows there. This for me is exactly right. It's not Huddersfield team, and it's not taking them too lightly. Neil Warnock obviously is always a bit of a curveball. A really good manager over the years. But the biggest one there is if we don't perform. If teams will want to beat us, so they will have that first 15 or 20 minutes, they'll come and have a go. But if we can keep them quiet and then grow into the games, the quality, like we talk about the subs bench, the quality that's the level. That's the level we've got compared to other teams. Huddersfield won't have international players who've played at Premier League level on the bench waiting to come on.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I feel a bit like, and again, I don't want to get out of control, but I feel like how Man City fans must feel.
Yes, because you should go into the game thinking you should be winning.
When they've got a Jack Grealish on the bench and like a Foden on the bench, they can elevate their game.
I will ask this then from Aggie. Aggie does say, do you think Vardy will start tomorrow or Iheanacho? And this is another thing where we both agreed that I think even after the Burton game, you're seeing that Kelechi should be starting up front most weekends or most championship games, and then the likes of Vardy or Daka, if Daka is still here, are this threat that will come on later on that any team would want for the full 90 minutes. I mean, we won for 20 minutes at the end.
I'd like to know what Aggie thinks and anybody else watching about the Vardy or Iheanacho, because there's two questions there. It says, do you think Vardy or will start or Iheanacho? It could be Vardy starts, but I would personally go for Nacho.
I would.
But I see Vardy much more coming on for 50. Again, anything, that Man City mentality, anything, you're 0-0 or something with 20 minutes to go, and you're at Huddersfield and they see Jamie Vardy coming on, they're suddenly it's gonna change the.
They haven't got that quality on the bench. They want him from the get-go, not 20 minutes left to go.
I mean, a lot of people say Nacho should start. I would definitely pick Nacho.
Well, we've been saying this for like 3 or 4 years now, since he started that really good run with Vardy up front together, that he is a quality goal scorer when he's got the confidence. And the only way you're going to get confidence if you play week in, week out. So that's how you're going to get him scoring again. Matty does say here, on paper, we should be beating every team in the league. And I probably agree with that. Other than maybe the likes of Leeds or Southampton on their day.
There'll be 3, 4, 5 games where it is close.
Yeah.
But he's right. If Maresca's got Rodgers' mentality out of the place, I think he has. I don't know if you saw Mark Albrighton's interview straight after the game on Wednesday, but he was saying it's, there has been a change of mood and atmosphere at the training ground, and he said we've got a few leaders around the team and the pitch, which he said, but Mark Albrighton said, which has been missing for the last season or so. I assume he means since Kasper Schmeichel went. So he's definitely saying that they're noticing that there is a different mentality around the training, which is what you want to hear.
Well, we've brought in so many more leadership roles. We've got Winks, who, as much as he wasn't captain before, you can see his quality there. Cody, yes, he's injured, but he's kind of like that Kasper role now. You've got Pereira, who's been like quality last few years, even though he's got injured. He's been one of our best players. So,
and again, just we were touching on this yesterday. We were having a conversation about captain, who's going to be club captain. You were telling me, Reader, that there is going to be no club captain. It's going to be a match day captain almost.
It all depends on who starts, because I think, like I'm saying, if Connor Cody is in that lineup some point this season, you'd probably, majority of the team would say yes, give it to him. But if he's not playing and Vardy's up front, and you've not got someone like a Pereira in your side, and you've got someone like Justin, you probably would give it to Vardy. Like last season, who was our captain? It was Johnny Evans.
Well,
he
yeah, but
barely played a game, and even Albrighton was vice captain, and he barely played a game. The captain needs to be on that pitch.
Yeah, indeed. There, Steve goes on to say about a game that was a long time ago. Steve, Brian Little in charge. Don't think Maresca will let us be like that again. I don't think. I think there is this new headmaster type of mentality where everybody's like, I want to play for him. I want to perform. I'm sure there's a bit of the Pep magic there in the fact that players want to play for Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. Again, I don't want to be negative and remind you of people like Claude Puel and Brendan Rodgers, but I'm not sure people would lay down their lives to play for those sorts of managers. And yet people like Jurgen Klopp and hopefully a bit of Enzo, his players enjoy playing for him. They want an Enzo pat on the
fresh
back.
style.
They want a smile. They want to please him.
Yeah. Chris does say Albrighton should be captain.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad shout, but I don't think
he's
not going to play every game. It's very difficult to have your club captain sat on the bench, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say, I dare say Cody could have been club captain sort of potential, but he's got to play and he's out for 10 weeks.
I will agree. I don't know him, so I wouldn't know. But we'll go back to the Albrighton comment, and we'll say the last comment of the day.
You don't know who Brian Little is?
I don't. So the last comment of the day.
Do you not even know the name?
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it?
I've heard of Stuart Little.
All right, so we've got to do some educate.
Yes.
You've heard of Martin O'Neill?
Yes. Yeah, I have, yeah.
Jock Wallace?
No, never heard of him. Last comment then, before we do finish.
I'm sorry, I just have to apologise for reading.
That's fine.
He's only young.
So we want to know.
He needs to learn his history, though.
Who do you want to play?
He needs a smarter T-shirt
on the wing.
Well.
Who wants to play on the wing this weekend? Mavadidi and McAteer, or Marcel Madaduva, whatever his name is, and Albrighton. 2 sets of wingers. We've played the last 2 games.
Well, I'd probably, big Albrighton fan, but I'd probably go Mavadidi. on one side because
Yeah.
you know, we bought him and he looks exciting. So, but you could have Mavididi on one side.
Yeah.
You
And
could have
Albrighton.
Albrighton on the other.
You could.
And Albrighton delivered in a really sweet cross for Kelechi Iheanacho. He also, Mark Albrighton against Burton did the usual Mark Albrighton, which is up and down and 100% commitment at all. I would have no problem. So yes, we would start Mavididi.
I think a lot of people want Mavididi in the team. I think as much as he was maybe frustrating to watch at times against Coventry, he did well. He did well for his debut.
It was
game.
exciting. It wasn't perfect, but I think there was promise there, and I think I probably saw a little bit more from Mavididi against Coventry than I'd seen it certainly from Tete.
Yes,
and probably even from it was under we had, didn't we? Did he look as good as Lookman?
I don't know. I think Lookman's one of my little golden boys because he did well
at Premier League level. But listen, what we saw from Mavididi, there was some flashes of decent stuff there. But yeah, Gerd says there, Mavididi and Albrighton. Chris Wall says that. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Aggie says there as well. It's Aggie, listen, it's good. I'm not going to tell him about David Pleat. I don't want to put him off being a Leicester fan, mate. So, yeah.
Right, last of all, I forgot to say one thing.
I'd love a cup of tea.
Prediction for tomorrow. What would you say?
It has to be a Leicester win for me.
Okay, yeah.
Just because, again, I do feel like a Man City fan in the Premier League in the fact that we just should be too good for them.
Yep.
In every department, and in particular on the bench. Our bench is just way too good compared to their bench for that last 15, 20 minutes. We may end up scoring a lot of goals in the last 20 minutes this season is what I'm starting to think. So I think we should really, really be too good for them. And I think it's going to be 2 or 3-0.
Yeah, Steve says here's 2-0.
Yeah.
Foxy says 2-0.
More than happy with 2-0.
I think
I'll be happy with any sort of win because it's about 6 points for me. Really.
Well, like I said, the Coventry game, out of all the games this season, other than the teams that have gone down with us, that could have been the hardest game.
Tough game.
So people are predicting a clean sheet this weekend, which I'd be happy with. And you'd probably say he's probably about right. They struggled. Huddersfield struggled last season, didn't they? Yeah. So I don't think you could ask for anything less than a decent win. And then the right honourable gentleman last says, 1-0 if Vardy starts, 3-0 if Nacho starts. I agreed because against Coventry, we had 75 minutes of Vardy and we didn't score. Bring a Nacho on, we got 2 goals.
Aggie goes 2-0. And then Facebook user, that's got to be Sean.
Might be Sean.
It's got to be Sean.
Way,
it's got to be Sean.
Either way, it's still a brutal result.
That's conservative for Sean.
It is, yeah. There you go. Right, guys. Peter finally says 4-1 to Leicester. Any win, like I say, 3 points is just massive for us, isn't it? Getting up that table. Appreciate you all coming on, and we'll catch you all on the next show. Cheers, guys.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.